Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement.
Bear witness as the three of us will endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory.
We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Hi, I'm true believer and poetic soul Mike Collins.
Hello, I'm Master Yogi and Master of Wind, Dan Collins.
Greetings, I'm Future Corpse, Travis Brabant. We each have one idea for a challenge for us to attempt in the next 2 weeks. After we've all presented, we'll decide on whose idea is the best. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in here.
Yep.
How many hours a day do you guys think you spend sitting down?
A lot.
6. My guess.
I would guess
So-
probably closer to 10 or 12 for me. Probably more than that, actually.
Did you know that sitting down is linked to heart disease, lower back injuries? It's a contributor of obesity and diabetes, and contributes to a lot of vascular problems.
I had heard that, but tell me more.
Yeah. Well, my challenge would be for us to stand up and not sit down
Ever.
as much as we could. That's standing or sitting is the new smoking. A lot of people are saying, and I think we should try to stand more. So it would be who could stand or who could sit the least, I guess would be the way to put it.
So
Okay.
we would need to be tracking, like keeping a tracker of how much we are sitting, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Now, here,
Um,
let me pose a question to you here. Would like squatting be considered sitting?
I don't think so. No, because you're still engaging muscles
That-
when you're
Because
squatting.
I feel like
just
I can squat for some time.
I just imagine you squatting at your desk at work instead of sitting.
I would just do it on top of my chair. So I can...
Just like Gollum typing away at a keyboard. Whatever it takes, man. Go for glory. I like this challenge. This is definitely a thing that can lead to improvement in our life. Metric seems a little bit hard, other than just the measurement of time, and maybe it can be that simple.
I think that's kind of what I had in mind. Like, you don't have to like look at the clock when you sit down and when you stand up, but like if you sit down to watch a movie or something, that's like an hour and a half of sitting, and you just have to clock that in. And you wouldn't count like laying in your bed to sleep. I don't
Sure.
think laying down contributes to all these negative things, but just sitting down, like at a computer, at your TV, or just sitting down in general, because you can stand while you're eating or watching TV, or
Sure.
not so much on your computer, but
Unless you have a standing desk.
know.
Yeah. What about like laying to watch TV? Like, what if we come home at the end of the day and we want to watch something and we just like lay on the floor or a couch or something like that?
Are we going for minimum hours sitting or maximum hours standing?
I think minimum hours sitting.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that
laying
seems
What
easier.
I had in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Like laying down, I don't know. I mean, I guess laying down to watch TV, that seems like that would count as sitting. I don't know. I mean, if we pick it, we can get more into detail, but
Okay.
that's my pitch.
Okay.
All right. I'll go next. So I like the music that we currently have for our podcast, but I think it could be a little bit more representative of us. I think in the next 2 weeks we should agree on a song key, and then we each should try to make a new theme for our podcast.
Okay.
Like we make it.
Yeah, we compose, arrange, play a new theme for the podcast. And if we do them all in the same key, then we could maybe string them together later, or, something like that. So that's an even playing field.
Release an album, maybe.
Sure.
I like that idea a
I
lot.
do like that idea.
So, I mean, we've said, we've
So-
hinted at a couple of times on this podcast that we each dabble or play some music, this could be a way a way to illustrate some of those skills, and that way the listeners know that we're not just blowing smoke. We do know what notes there are.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that it definitely we would have a clear winner then, because then we'd have to pick one that would be our intro music.
Mm-hmm. We would all be a winner, but one of us would get an honorific also.
We're always winners, all of us.
It's true.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's it.
Except for the losers, but
there are no losers, Dan. Well, there are. There are losers.
There's two losers. There's more losers than there are winners.
Yeah, there's a lot more losers.
Yeah, you're right.
That's okay though.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So mine's kind of similar. Well related anyway. So we got these fancy new microphones. At least you guys do now, and you guys sound great. Can I just say?
Well, thanks.
Much easier to listen to. So my thought is, let's all become better singers.
Oh
God.
And then, so my thought for how we could do this is it would be based on most improved, because I understand that I have more kind of singing experience than you guys do, but there's no reason that you guys couldn't surpass me, or at least improve more than I did in 2 weeks. So
how would we measure? The idea of me singing into a microphone for other people to listen to is a very terrifying idea for me.
Yeah, I agree. For me too. But that is something that we're trying to embrace, things that make us want to run away screaming in terror.
Yeah.
So, and what I was thinking was, instead of like having to perform, we can just get a recording of ourselves. You can even get like backing music, or do like your own harmonizing with yourself. However you want to do it.
If you want a Bohemian Rhapsody yourself.
Yes. Not going to do that. In fact, if we did this, there's a 90% chance it would be a Christmas song, because that's how I roll.
It's basically like doing karaoke, but recording it for all of the internet to enjoy.
Yeah, or you could do it a cappella. I mean, it would be up to you. And I feel like I kind of know where we all are, like singing wise. So,
I think I have the ability to sing good, but the only time I can sing good is when I'm completely by myself and I know I'm not within earshot of anybody on the earth.
Well, the good news is you have a microphone, and you can have nobody around except for the microphone.
And then, for the 50 people or so that actually listen to our podcast, which at least one of them is our mom, and she won't judge me.
Yeah. She'll love it.
Is she open for singing lessons? Because I desperately need them.
Well, that you probably, if you called my mom and be like, "Hey Pam, can you teach me how to sing?" and she would be over there within the hour, I imagine.
Yeah, that's true. I don't like that, but that doesn't mean it's not good. I've never heard of myself sing, so.
I also have an idea for the honorific for this one. It would be King Crooner.
Okay.
Or something like that.
If we go with that, I don't think most improved would be the way to go, though. I think we just have to do a flat best song rendition sung vocally. It's hard to measure improvement.
I don't know. We could all do it right now.
No.
I guess you could pick a song and then sing it now and then sing it again later. I don't know. All right, we've heard the three. Let's vote. What do we want to do? We've got sing a song, make a new theme for the podcast, or Dan, what was yours?
Sit.
Don't sit.
Don't sit down.
Anybody have any thoughts?
Well, I like mine. If we're not going to do,
I really don't like yours.
I'm willing to go with either one of yours. I'm willing to put mine aside.
I think it'd be cool to have the theme song be one of ours, though, one of our own.
I do kind of like that.
creations.
I think just because that sounds like fun, I like that one out of your two.
I also really want to stand up more because I've sat down probably since I woke up today.
Yeah. Can I say it does put Mike at a disadvantage? Like I have a standing desk at home and at work. So I don't know if that gives me an advantage or what, but
Well,
just
I'm able
put it
to
out
stand
there.
at my desk at work.
I do. Yeah, I could get a standing desk, or I could just stack a couple boxes up until I get one. I don't know. I could do that.
So just yeah, I'll just put that disclaimer out there. You know, Mike, it feels like you'd be at a slight disadvantage at least.
Yeah. Well, Dan also. I mean, but no. Yeah, I guess you're walking around a lot, aren't you?
Well, yeah, and the desk at my work is pretty high. I'm able to stand at it. I do it a lot,
Okay.
which is part of the reason I wanted to do it, so that I could force myself to stand at work and at home.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well, do you guys want to do that one? I don't know. Which one are what one are you guys most excited about? I guess I like the singing one. The making our theme song to me sounds like the most fun. So that's one that I would like to do. But the singing one sounds like you guys really do not want to do that, which makes me think it would probably make good for make good material for the podcast.
yeah, if I were to vote, it would be either mine or the singing one, but I'm willing to do whatever.
Well, I also am not just for my own selfish shyness of singing. I don't think listeners of our podcast would want to hear me sing.
I know you'd be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I'm honestly, I really like the idea of making a theme song, and I think that would be really cool to have our own have our own thing.
Okay.
I think I'd pick that over my own. Actually,
All right.
that's
Okay.
my number one.
It
Here-
does sound like it sounds like fun. So
And it's
mean,
probably better to do it sooner than later because then we could just have it be on the podcast episode sooner.
that's true. Yeah.
And it has to and I think we should try to make it. What do we have now? It's like an intense kind of.
It's like this orchestral. It came in a sound pack that I got from Humble Bundle for making video games. That's where it came from.
So should we just do do you guys have any preference? Should we just do the key of C, and should we pick a beats per minute too?
No, I think we should keep that because we might have different ideas for what the feel should be.
Okay.
Can we do a minor?
Sure.
Well, I mean, do
would
we need to pick a key? I don't know.
I guess we don't have to. I just thought we could string them together, and that might be fun as far as the lead in and the interstitial and outro or whatever. But it's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we need to pick that. So I think we'd be fine.
Okay.
Well,
so when we're making
let's say C or A minor, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
so when recording, keep those in mind that we do need an intro section, a interstitial middle of the episode thing, and then an end of the episode thing. So keep that in mind when composing. Speaking of composing, the honorifics that I had thought of beforehand, and we can deviate or we can go with whatever, but here are two for your consideration. Songsmith or Grand Maestro.
Maestro de Musica.
Sure.
I think I'm mixing a couple languages there.
What does maestro mean?
It means master.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think.
The
we
reason
already have 2 masters.
Yeah,
yeah, it's a little
true.
close, a little on
It's
the
just
nose.
we're like sidestepping our rule for not using the word master anymore.
Different languages.
I like Songsmith is pretty tight. I'd be into that one.
Songsmith. Yeah, that's good. I like that. It's,
Okay.
I'd like to be the Songsmith.
I would also like to be the Songsmith.
How about but can we say the Songsmith?
Oh,
Yes.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the Songsmith.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay. Who do we think is going to do the best here? I have no idea. Wait,
I think Dan, you have like a music degree too, don't you?
No, I almost do. I was like 3 classes away from it. From a music minor when I changed it at the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah. I just knowing from what we've kind of come up with in the past, Dan's music tends to be more avant-garde.
All right. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Is that good? Is that a good thing?
I
if
don't
that's a
know.
good
I guess
thing.
it depends on how it lays out. It could be a bad thing. Might be bad for you, Dan.
All right. Well, hey, I am what I am.
Yeah. I think you both are sitting in a good place. I might be a little bit behind the curve just because I'm less musically gifted than you guys are, but I think we all have a solid shot.
I don't know if that's true.
Are we looking for? I guess it can be anything, huh? We're not no specific type of thing. Like doesn't have to be.
Whatever you want.
Very much
Okay.
up to your own interpretation because it might change kind of the vibe in the beginning, but I
Yeah.
think that's fine.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
All right.
I'm kind of excited about this one.
Yeah, this will be fun. All right, let's do this.
Welcome back to the Perpetual Incompetence podcast. As a reminder, we recorded the first part of the podcast 2 weeks ago, and since then, we have been working on creating the greatest theme song possible, for us at least. Let's talk about our initial thoughts, and then we'll get into the songs. Mike, do you want to go first?
Yeah, the term "greatest theme song ever" might be stretching it a little bit.
Yeah, we may
I
not
don't know,
approach
man.
that.
So, okay. I guess my experience has been, I will say, I think this is probably the most stressful one that we've done so far, like long-term stress. The contemplating your own mortality was stressful in little bursts of existential horror, but then it subsided.
Yeah,
But-
easier to stare longingly into the void than to make a minute of music.
It's true though. So I think I probably started maybe 10 songs or
Yeah.
something like that, and I was not happy with any of them, and you guys are getting the best of those.
Yeah.
So I started, I listened to I tried to figure out what kind of our podcast, what kind of vibe we wanted going into it. The song that we have going on now, which I wouldn't really call a theme song, it's just more like theme music. I don't know, whatever. It was like battle music,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
driving, because I was, the idea when I picked it for this was sort of to find one that was, kind of showed the competition aspect of the podcast.
Sure.
So I tried several songs that had that, but none of them would kind of click in. I like the sort of Imperial Death March ostinato, I think it's called, where it's like
Sure.
you play one chord like dun 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 dun, dun and
Yeah.
which is cool, but I apparently cannot write good music like that. So so what I ended up going with is it's more of a techno EDM verging on dubstep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of thing. It started off with trying to just kind of have a fun upbeat, like here we go. it's starting. Get excited.
Sure.
And then me being the songwriter that I am, it started waxing melodic. So it, as opposed to just more upbeat and fun, I kind of like tried to tell a story with my melody, which isn't probably necessarily the best thing, but I'm not going to change it at this point.
Sure.
It's a little late for that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I did is I chopped it down. So it's about a minute long.
Perfect.
It's not that good.
Hey, don't
And
beat yourself up. There
but
we go.
Hey,
but
we'll tell you if it's good or not.
but it's music. So that's something, right?
Yeah, that's
We
all we
can
asked
go with
for.
That's something. Can we listen to it?
Yeah, all right. So
Right.
so I feel like I've warned you guys enough. I'd like you to listen to it. So,
Okay.
but you
All right.
guys
All
go
right,
ahead
which
and
one's
jam it.
yours? Indicatively incompetent.
Indicatively incompetent indeed.
Okay. I'm gonna start it right now.
Listening now.
Okay, I'm gonna listen to it too. Why not?
Okay, I've listened to it.
Yeah, I'm ready to discuss.
Okay.
Are we ready to jump back in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it. All right. So, what did you guys think?
That's a really crunchy riff on the
Yeah, very
guitar.
crunchy.
There's a lot going on in there for sure.
Yeah, I made lots of beeps and boops and some.
At one point, there's like it sounds like a laser air horn,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of.
And there's kind of some bass drops happening in there.
Couple bass
I
drops.
Sure.
Yeah.
think more than a couple. There's like 6, I think,
Okay.
for like the bass drops. So anyway, that's a song that I made that is on the podcast. So it's like I said, I'm not immensely confident that that's the direction we want to go.
Sure.
But
Honestly, I was expecting you to do more like a heavy metal kind of thing. That was what I was anticipating coming from
I
you.
tried it. I
I mean,
man.
my thing was I wanted to do that because I listened to a lot of metal and like it seems a little bit on the intense side for what we're doing here, but B, like I think that rock and metal is hard to do in a DAW when you're not actually playing the instruments yourselves. I should say for people who are not familiar with making like audio stuff, a DAW is a digital audio workstation. It's basically like software and stuff that you use to record and make music. But like rock and metal and stuff, like that are predominantly guitar and bass driven, it's hard to do that stuff in a good way, just doing your, pushing your little keys and stuff. At least I
Yeah.
found it to be that way.
Well, I mean, I plugged my guitar in. You could actually hear it there. I'm not doing a lot with it. I'm going like dun dun.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
about it. But because I needed it to be a little more crunchy, which apparently it was, according to you
Yeah,
guys.
very
success.
crunchy.
You got
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, I don't know. Yeah. What do you guys think of it for for a podcast? Maybe not this one.
It feels a little on the intense side for 3, middle-aged men or whatever.
I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
All right.
I don't want to judge
fine.
yours too harshly because mine is yet to come, and I.
Do you want to go next, Travis, or should I go?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right.
So I'll get similar to Mike. I'll kind of walk through my process, as the artists say. Yeah, I found this challenge to be very challenging. It was many songs started, and I would like get like 8 bars of music, and then I would like fiddle with it for a couple hours, and at the end of it, like, this sucks. What am I doing? And start over. I did that a handful of times, and I got a couple things that like sound. This is an okay song, but it doesn't sound like the podcast. Or it doesn't sound like something that I would want to put on the podcast. So I've got a couple of riffs and stuff that sounded okay. At the beginning of it, I had like high aspirations, I guess. I was like, I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna have an instrument that represents the three of us. I was gonna be a bari sax, Mike, you were gonna be a guitar, and Dan, you're gonna be an accordion, because these are the instruments that I've seen you guys play a lot of.
Kind of like a Peter and the Wolf sort of thing.
I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work out for me, so partially because I'm not like set up to record myself playing guitar, and I'm not that good at it. And all the accordion stuff that I have just sounds like bad techno accordion. So like I was essentially trying to make like a ska song, and it sounded bad. It was real bad.
Bad techno accordion sounds like a sweet Weird Al song.
You can mention it to him when we see him here in June or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Get excited.
And then so I was struggling, I'll be honest. And then Mike, you pointed me towards that software Scalar 2,
Yes.
which is helpful with coming up with chord progressions and kind of riffs and stuff like that, which was very helpful. But it very much like many other of the audio software tools, the VSTs, it's just a big old rabbit hole for you to fall down.
Yeah, it's true.
It's just like endlessly like picking of a million different chords and like back and forth and whatever. So spent a lot of time on that. It did end up being very helpful for me, but it was, it didn't speed up the process. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of it, I have an intro song and I have a theme song.
Oh.
So I came up with a kind of a thing that I liked for the intro, but it wasn't very melodic. It wasn't like very melody forward, very like memorable. So if you're willing, I'm going to play you 2 things. The intro song is the one I'm putting forward as my submission.
Okay.
But the theme song was kind of one of my first ones that I initially planned to discard, but I liked enough to like that actually went back and finished it sort of. So, kind of my thoughts on these were more, I didn't want, because, if you listen to some podcasts or whatever, when people have the music that's like super intense right away, and you have like your volume turned up too loud, or you're in a car and it like blows out your speakers. I didn't want to do that. So mine are more kind of mellow, not like, smooth jazz, but more laid back, kind of, I think in keeping with the intensity of the podcast. So yeah, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Side note, speaking of the Scalar 2, I'm glad I could give you a speed bump during this
Yeah.
round. But I gave you the red herring to chase.
Yeah, it was a very helpful stick in the wheel, but it did slow me down a little bit.
Excellent.
Let's see. I don't. That's all I got. So yeah, let's listen to theme song first, and then intro song.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna listen to theme song and then intro song.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in. All right, ready, listening now.
Yeah. I do like that. That's a nice little.
I was jamming over
Anyways,
here.
okay,
Man.
I gotta listen to the intro.
All right. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, so can we talk about this one first? Or
Yeah,
should
let's do that. Let's do that.
Okay, yeah. That's very.
That was dope. That was
Yeah, I
like
like the
it was like
melody.
a intro for like a kids 1980s kids like solving mysteries television show, not a cartoon though. Like live
Or like a
action.
live action Hardy Boys
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
Thanks, guys. That's nice. It was very mellow, very calm, but also like a little bit mysterious as far as
Mysterious, yeah.
Yeah, it threw in there was
Yeah.
like a dissonant chord it kind of dropped into,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, that's it.
Well, we can
That's
thank Scalar 2 for that. The chord arrangements came straight from Scalar 2.
It is pretty sweet.
All right, so
recommend
I'm going
it
to
enough.
preface the second one because we're talking about
Okay.
it. While I stumbled onto that first one, I was like, oh, I like that, but I wasn't prepared to sing as we found at the beginning of this. But we needed some kind of vocals or whatever, so I took a different route to the vocals, and I think if we choose mine, we'll re-record to put your guys' voices in here. But with that said, let's listen to the intro song.
Okay.
All right. So that's podcast. The intro song. Wave.
Intro song Wave. Okay.
Welcome to the Perpetual Incompetence Podcast, a journey in competitive self-improvement. Bear witness as the three of us endeavor to improve our lives by competing in a series of low-stakes challenges.
Just buckle up.
Wait,
There's
is that your challenge?
Yeah. Yeah, I just opened up my heart and let Bieber in. This is where I landed.
That's not the direction I thought that was going.
hey, good morning. You're gonna die.
In each episode, we will come up with a challenge and then define the rules or metrics for victory. We will have 2 weeks to do our best, and at the end, one of us will be crowned victor. Really just bring in as much juice out of life as you can.
It's pretty good. I like the mix.
So yeah, I went back and pulled,
I
pulled sections out.
I thought you guys were talking while I was listening to it. It was throwing me off for a second.
Yeah, I was confused as well for a moment there. That's pretty good though. I mean, I like it's simple, but it's kind of
So kind of what I was trying to do was trying to give people a feel of what to expect. People are listening to the podcast for the first time, like trying to say like this is kind of what you're in for if you listen to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do like it.
And because I think your guys' laughs are funny, so
yeah.
in a good way, not like listen to this guy.
But what was I gonna say? The simplicity of the song, actually, I kind of like that as a direction. I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I like the intro one. It's very it's like a lot of anticipation.
Yeah, kind of getting psyched up for it.
Yeah.
After I had finished it, I realized that maybe it's just the way the song ends, but it reminds me a lot of the song from the IT Crowd.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
just a little bit. But yeah, it like when I at least try to make music, and you try to make it like, because Mike, I think I did sort of similar to you. I tried to make something like heavy and metal or whatever, but then I was like, maybe I'll do this like heavy orchestral stuff, and you can, but it just doesn't sound right. So inevitably, I fall back on chip tunes, whatever, electronic, because it's just easier.
Yeah.
So for better or worse, that's where I landed.
I like it. Oh, I mean, it's good. It's good, man.
All right, Dan, bring us home.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about chip tunes because, all right. Well, let me just bring you through my thought process here. So I was trying to think of like what we're doing with the podcast, and we're improving ourselves, through what you could consider a sort of a montage of training. So I thought I would try to recreate the Rocky theme,
Excellent.
sort of in a training way. I sort of encapsulated that, and I made a song, and I made a song within about 3 days, and I was like, that's pretty good. But then I had a week and a half left, so I tried to learn how to do chiptune really well.
Yeah.
And I made another song. It took me maybe 4 days because I was trying to figure out how to do all these fancy things, and I made another song, and it was okay. And then for the last week, I've been working on this one song, and I've been perfecting it, and I've spent hours every day working on it to perfect it. And I finally got it to where I wanted it to be. And it's sort of a culmination of the I was trying to go for like a video game, trying to like defeat the boss kind of thing, but like the boss is in the game is a metaphor for the challenge that we're doing.
Sure.
And then after I finished that and perfected it and made it exactly how I wanted it to, I realized that the song I made in the first 3 days is better. So
you had me pretty nervous. She's like, "Oh, perfection! I have achieved chiptune perfection."
I mean, I think the song's pretty good, but I think the first one I did would be a better podcast intro.
Okay. I have become one with the bleeps.
Yes. There's a little bit of the chiptune-esque feeling in there, or the 8-bit kind of sound. And I was kind of when I made it, I was kind of trying to make it like, I think there are like 8-bit Rocky games.
I'm sure there is, yeah.
But I basically tried to make it like, and you had mentioned before, Travis, like we need to kind of make it so it has like 3 separate parts. So there's a clear intro, and then there's a clear middle section, and then there's a clear outro, which would be when the song would be playing, if it was the theme for the podcast. So
yeah, can I say that I did say that, and that I didn't follow through on it? So
I think it's about 1.5 minutes. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say. You can just listen to it.
All right. Let's do this. It's the Perpetual Incompetence Pod. You did great.
Dang it, Dan.
I gotta say, I really like that one, Dan.
Yeah.
I especially like the way it started.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's great. I all around great work. I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, how could I have ever thought that I would beat Dan at music?
I was trying to make it seem like it was getting better as it went. I don't know if that was like I started with really bad ukulele playing, and then I ended with a little solo. I'm practicing my solo on the ukulele. I don't know if you caught that.
I did hear that.
I did. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, man, I enjoyed that quite a bit. I liked the kind of the driving sort of din 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 at the beginning there. It was very exciting. It excited me, Dan.
And you had like, I think you had like power up sounds kind of mixed into the back there.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
leveling
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I got it. There's a lot of like meta stuff going on in there,
Yeah.
which I appreciate. Man, this is gonna be very hard. I mean, I kind of want to re-listen to all three of them back to back in the order that we just played them.
Yeah, I
Can
think
we-
we can do that.
Can we do that?
Yeah.
We'll cut that out.
pause. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
pause here and then just listen to them.
Like you have some very juicy claps in there.
Yeah, it's that they're labeled as thunderclaps in my.
All right, moving on.
So the theme song was the one you're submitting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the intention this is that we would be talking over it for the intro.
Right. That was kind of the thought with mine as well. Yeah, it's a sweet groove it gets into.
Yeah.
It's just like I want to like jam to it, you know? Like
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just kind of have
It
it
makes
in
me-
the
makes me-
background.
Makes me feel good to hear you guys say that. Because it was genuinely so many times of like, this sucks, throw it away. This sucks, throw it away. And then, like, that one was like, all right, moving on to dance.
All right.
I almost want to like cut out your little "you did great" and like have that be like an alarm clock or something. That's like a pleasant little like, oh, thanks, Dan.
Oh boys, this is
Sometimes we all need to hear that, you know.
this is a hard one, man.
You want to hear my masterpiece chiptune song?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Should we put that in
definitely.
the podcast?
We could. I don't think it fits as a podcast theme song, but
No, let's just rock it out, man. I'll stick
Should we
it in
put-
there.
Should we put the abomination that you sent us on like day one?
Maybe we should discuss that. Actually, let's back up the train here. So, for those listening, Dan created a song
Yeah.
that
An experience.
an experience, a sonic experience. We don't need to put it on the podcast.
hey,
I want to re-listen to it again though.
the title is not weird at all, which is a blatant lie.
It's when I discovered I could record myself playing the ukulele and it sounded all right, and I started recording myself saying things when I was doing the "you did great," and then I just started laughing and I thought it sounded funny, and then I just recorded myself laugh a bunch of times, and then it just sort of turned into.
So Dan
It
posted,
sounds like going on like an ayahuasca trip with leprechauns.
so
like
Dan
creepy,
Dan
weird
posted
giggling.
this in our Discord, and there are two comments, one by Travis and one by me. Dan put it up there immediately afterwards. Travis put nightmare fuel, and then shortly, several hours later, or a day later, I guess, when I actually listened to it, it was simply said, "Jesus, that's unsettling."
Yeah, and I stand by it.
I
Yeah.
stand by it. People are gonna ask for it.
It was a dark place in my life at the time.
2 weeks ago was dark times.
Did you put it up, Dan? I want to listen
It
to this
did.
other
It's
song.
called Podcast Theme Try 3.
All right. Let's jump into it.
Okay. This is not the creepy one. This is the one that I put a lot of effort into.
Yeah.
This is chiptune perfection.
Chiptune perfection. Yes. You did great.
That's amazing.
I kept
All right, Dan.
I kept the little "you did great" in there because I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's great. I have some notes, Dan. You're like, probably because you have spent a lot of time playing drums. Your drums are like always so like intense in a very good way, and there's so much going on for your drums. It's really good.
No, it's nice. That's a nice
Also,
thing to say.
your pitch bends in that are solid too.
That's what I was.
Did you do
That's
this
what
by
I was
hand, or-
learning a lot.
On
That's what I had to
point,
learn a
I would
lot
say.
about. I've grown a lot as a electronic artist in these last 2 weeks because I learned how to do a lot of those fancy little things with the 8-bit sounds.
It
I'll
sounds,
say
that's-
you could put this up on Spotify and it would get played by a lot of people. I think like that's there's like Anamanaguchi and other like chiptune artists. That's as good as many of their songs. I would say, if not
I
better.
don't know. I mean, I listened to it. It's not as good as them. Maybe after another year of practicing with it, I could probably be that good. But I'm very proud of it.
It's very
it's
good.
very good, Dan. That's the best chiptune music I think come out of us, because I know we've
Yeah.
made quite a bit. That's
We can
that's real good.
we may want to put that one in the game if we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was thinking. We could probably put that in the video game.
Yeah. All right. All right. So
We can't put it off any longer. We should probably decide.
yeah. So I think we might need to do the same thing that we did for the poem. So like you can vote for somebody, but not for yourself. Yeah.
Okay. I will say if it's not me, I would vote for Dan's. It's very good. It's I feel it's a little on the intense side for our podcast, but it's like very, very good. Man, I'm out of good qualifiers. Just a solid song.
Okay.
Real not bad. Oh, geez. Dan, you go first.
Um,
I need to think about it.
I would probably go with Travis.
Oh, so I got to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got out of it
Man,
last time, so you have to now.
that's true. I think if I had to pick between you two, I think I want to go with Dan's. Just because I think it brings the right level of excitement, whereas Travis put me in the groove zone.
Does that
Sure,
mean
that's for
that
a
I'm the
different podcast.
Songsmith?
You are.
I think that Dan is a songsmith.
Oh, that's a
Congratulations.
good feeling.
Yeah. You've definitely earned it. I'll say that. That's a nice piece of music. And on a meta level, I think Mike, you and I need to pick it up, and we need to take Dan down. He's kind of pulling away with this thing.
Yeah. Does Dan have? Is this 4 for you?
No, this is 3.
No, it's 3. Ah, yeah, this is
Yeah,
unacceptable.
baby.
All right. So
All right.
I don't. That was yeah. I will say I said it at the beginning, but man, it was legitimately like stressful because I didn't have a ton of time to work on it. And I like when I was like voraciously trying to like, I was like the guy like you picture like an old musician sitting at their piano just, smoking a cigarette, like why won't the muse strike me?
Yeah.
It was just
There was like
I honestly had the opposite feeling. Like this has probably been the because this is something like I'll like once I get into making a song, I just like focus in and like I don't know, I love every minute of it, and I like tweaking the little bits here and there. Like I've been having a blast the last 2 weeks, if I'm gonna be honest with you.
I do the same thing like when I finally get into it, but I think if I was to enjoy this a whole lot, I need like 3 months to figure one out,
and no kids, right?
Yeah, and no children.
I set up like a workspace upstairs to try to get away from the kids, and then it was just like, oh, it's playtime upstairs now. So it's hard to like get into that flow state when you have kids constantly like, what are you doing? What's that? Can I play? Like, which is great. It's good to get them involved, but not great when you're trying to like, compose a masterpiece.
Yeah. With that being said, though, I mean, Travis, Dan, you guys' stuff was all very good. I enjoyed all of it.
Yours was good too, Mike. It was a sonic experience.
Apparently less good than
That's, I don't know. Honestly, I mean, like yours is. I think yours is good. It just wasn't fitting for the purposes that we were looking for.
And coming into this, I feel like I already knew that.
Yeah, you did kind of preface it with that.
So.
All right, so let's final thoughts, or let's talk about favorite or best theme songs ever.
All right, I'll go first. DuckTales. Woo-hoo.
Yep.
That's it.
I was thinking that is my favorite theme song, but that actually was like the first thing that came to my mind when I was like, what's my favorite theme song? But then I thought harder about it, and I realized that I actually have a theme song as my ringtone, which is the original Star Trek theme song.
Nice.
That's pretty good too.
Which is something that I think it's like a combination of the song is just awesome, and it's a lot of nostalgia, and Star Trek is awesome.
That's true.
Sure. My initial impression was DuckTales also because it's classic. And I think I sort of knew that Mike was going to go with that. So my runner-up, or probably my more niche selection, is the theme from Batman Beyond. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I am not familiar.
How's it go?
It was a Batman.
So
it's hard. It's like hard to mimic with your mouth because it's like a heavy metal, industrial techno kind of thing from the 2000s, and it's great. I won't.
I think
I
I
won't try
know
to-
what you're talking about. 'Cause I'm pretty.
There's like a rave going on in the background.
I think I know the show. I just can't picture the theme song.
I would recommend you listen to it because
I'm going to after this. Yeah.
it is very reminiscent of what you and I mentioned we were trying to go for. It's basically like if I were more talented, it's what I would have tried to do. But again, it's probably too intense for a podcast, but it's great. I recommend everybody listen to it.
I do have a runner up though, which is Gilligan's Island.
No, nice.
Sure.
Just because I thought also you guys were also going to mention DuckTales, which you did. So that's
Yep.
my runner up.
We know each other.
I actually my the other one I was gonna say was the Beverly Hillbillies.
Sure.
That's a good one too. I didn't even think of that one.
There's a Weird Al
let's
version of that too.
Man. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So closing thoughts. When I was in like the depths of like failing at making songs, I watched on YouTube, of course, there's a ton of like how to compose music and that sort of thing. And there's this guy called Guy Micklemore, I think his last name is. He's like this old kind of or older British gentleman who's a music wizard. And he's delightful. He's just like full of energy and charismatic, and he's kind of like the Bob Ross of music theory in my humble opinion. So
Does he, like,
watch that guy's
make
music videos.
or...
He does. He like composes and he like walks you through how to compose and, you know, music theory and stuff like that.
Huh.
So he was a delight.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
any other closing thoughts from you guys?
I just listened to a lot of Mortal Kombat and Megalovania from Undertale, and that's basically how I made my the one that I didn't submit, the chiptune one.
Can I tell you your riff before you do the key change to the major? Your riff is I'm pretty sure the exact same as, I don't know if it's Megadeth or there's a guitar, like a famous metal song that has that same, or maybe it's or I don't know. It's very, very close to an established, well-known song.
Oh.
So it's probably for the best that you didn't pick that one.
Don't want to get copyrighted.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Anything in closing?
No. It's just,
Let's just be done with it.
I'm disappointed in myself. I feel like I could have done better, but this is.
I honestly think, you know, if we keep doing this podcast for a while, we should do this challenge again in like a
once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so here is a closing thought. Actually, I brought this up to Travis, but I'll bring it up now. I feel like we should leave it as a caveat that we can change our theme song, and we'll just have to do another challenge to do it.
Yeah.
Or
Sure.
maybe we could do like a long-term challenge, like a 3-month one or so.
Everybody gets started on the next theme song now, and then
and then
3 months
next year
from
we'll
now.
release it.
We'll see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we can change it.
Okay.
All right then. Without further ado, now presenting the Songsmith, Dan Collins.
Well, thank you so much for that introduction. I think it's very important. I think everybody should explore music. You know, if you don't play an instrument, pick one up. It's a joy. It's one of the greatest joys in life is to make and play music. And I think it's something we should all strive to do as much as we can. That's all I have to say about that. You did great.
Next time on Perpetual Incompetence.
That's a stretch. I guess it's fine.
That's dumb. That's pretty good.
It sure is, yeah. I mean, Mike likes it.
I mean, it's fine. We could do it.